Think about that for a moment. In a world where everyone is broadcasting every step, every goal, every small win, what happens when you choose to stay quiet, when you stop announcing and start executing? Most people waste their power trying to prove they're powerful. They post, they talk, they seek validation for plans they haven't even acted on yet. But silence is different. It's not weakness. It's not invisibility, it's strategy. Silence is the shield behind which the strongest people build. It's where the real power lies. When you move in silence, you conserve energy, not just physical energy, but mental, emotional, spiritual energy. You're no longer feeding the need to impress. You're not distracted by opinions, likes, or comments. You're too busy becoming something real. That silence becomes your edge. It gives you clarity. It gives you focus. And in that focus you begin to rise, not in noise, not in applause, but in strength, quiet strength, the kind that doesn't seek attention. It commands it. The moment you stop explaining yourself, you begin evolving. The moment you stop needing to be seen, you start seeing what matters: growth, progress, mastery. You don't owe anyone your plans. You don't need their permission, their approval, their applause, because success doesn't come from public opinion. It comes from private discipline. The kind no one talks about, the kind no one celebrates, the kind you do when no one's watching. That's the fire you build in silence, and that fire, it doesn't just burn, it transforms you. Psychologists say that when we tell people our goals, the brain often feels rewarded just by the act of sharing. We lose urgency. We feel like we've already accomplished something, but you haven't. Words aren't wins. Announcements aren't actions. If you're not careful, you can talk yourself right out of greatness. But when you keep it to yourself, when you keep your head down and your mouth shut, every ounce of motivation stays alive. You don't feel finished. You feel hungry. You don't feel proud. You feel focused. And hunger, that's what creates momentum. That's what keeps you grinding long after everyone else has stopped, because they were chasing attention. You're chasing results. They were performing. You're building. And when you build in silence, you start to realize something powerful. The journey isn't about proving anyone wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about showing up for the vision no one else can see. Not because you need validation, but because you believe in what you're becoming. Let that belief guide you. Let it fuel you, not the applause. Not the praise, just that inner knowing, that whisper inside that says, keep going, your moment is coming. And it is, but don't rush to tell the world. Let them wonder, let them doubt, let them sleep on you. Because silence creates mystery, and mystery creates momentum. When no one knows what you're building, they can't slow you down. They can't criticize what they can't see. They can't compete with what they don't understand. You stay ahead by staying quiet. You stay sharp by staying focused. You win because you don't stop to explain the battle. You just fight it, and yes, it's lonely. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's tempting to show people how far you've come. But remind yourself, silence now means celebration later, not a cheap momentary celebration, but the kind of success that speaks for itself, the kind that doesn't need captions or explanations, the kind that doesn't knock, it kicks the door open. Loud results, quiet preparation, that's how the great ones do it. That's how legacies are built, not by talking, but by becoming. So if you're working right now in silence, if you're grinding in private, dreaming without shouting, building without boasting, keep going. You are on the right path. You are not behind. You are not invisible. You are just becoming unstoppable. Your silence isn't empty. It's sacred. It's filled with effort, growth, and potential. And one day soon, the world will hear everything you never had to say. The path of silence isn't just about staying quiet. It's about becoming dangerous in the right way. Because while the world is busy talking, you're busy transforming. You're refining your skills, sharpening your mindset, building a version of yourself so strong, so focused that nothing can touch it. And that version isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows, in the repetition, in the relentless pursuit of better, without needing a single witness. When you choose the quiet path, you stop reacting to the noise around you. You stop explaining your decisions. You stop adjusting your vision to match someone else's comfort level. You become immune to distractions. Because you realize your life is too important, your mission too valuable to waste time proving anything. You don't need to be loud when your results are inevitable. You don't need to explain the storm you're creating when you are the storm. The greatest transformations always begin in silence, the gym with no audience, the late nights when everyone else is asleep, the early mornings where no one's clapping. That's where champions are made, not in front of a camera, not in front of a crowd, but in the unseen moments that no one will ever post about. Because it's not about being seen, it's about becoming unshakable. Every sacrifice, every uncomfortable choice, every time you said no to easy and yes to growth, that's where your future is forged. It's not glamorous, it's not fun, it's not fast, but that's why most people quit. They want the praise without the process, the title without the training, but not you. You understand that real success isn't something you show off. It's something you embody. It becomes who you are when you stop performing and start becoming. That version of you that nobody claps for yet, that's the most important version of all because it's the most honest, it's the most raw, and it's the one that's laying the foundation for everything that's coming. And what's coming, it's not just a win, it's not just a breakthrough, it's an entirely new identity because you don't just get results from silence, you get reborn in it. You become the kind of person who doesn't just survive pressure, you thrive in it, who doesn't avoid discomfort, you seek it, who doesn't beg for shortcuts, you build endurance, because every time you choose to work instead of talk, to act instead of announce, to grow instead of prove, you become more dangerous. The truth is, people don't respect noise, they respect results. They don't admire talkers, they admire warriors. They admire the ones who show up every day with nothing to prove and everything to build. The ones who walk through failure with their head high, the ones who lose, learn, and keep moving forward without a single word of complaint. The world may overlook that kind of strength in the beginning, but when your time comes, they won't be able to ignore it. Let them laugh now, let them underestimate you, let them talk while you build, because one day their words will fall silent and your success will speak so loud it'll echo, not because you said anything, but because you became something that cannot be ignored, something that was crafted in the dark, molded by discipline, strengthened by solitude. Your silence is your soil, and what's growing inside you will shake the ground when it finally breaks through. Don't chase recognition, chase progress. Don't ask for approval, earn respect. Don't try to be seen. Focus on becoming so effective, so valuable, so skilled that the world can't help but notice. Because when success finally speaks on your behalf, it won't whisper, it will roar. And no amount of noise from the past will matter when your presence becomes undeniable. So keep moving, keep building, keep growing, say nothing, prove everything. Your time is coming, not by force, not by noise, but by the silent, powerful work you're doing right now. And when it arrives, it will speak louder than anything you could have said. Let that be your motivation. Let that be your fuel, because silence isn't weakness, it's preparation. And you, right now, are preparing to become something unstoppable. And when the moment arrives, when the silence finally breaks, it won't be you speaking, it will be your results. It will be the undeniable evidence of everything you built when no one believed, when no one saw, when no one clapped. That moment isn't a coincidence, it's not luck, it's not fate. It's the consequence of persistence, of pain turned into power, of preparation carried out day after day with no applause and no spotlight. That's what makes it real. That's what makes it unstoppable, because success doesn't ask permission. It doesn't wait to be accepted. It walks in and takes its place, and when it's backed by discipline, forged in silence and earned through sweat, it becomes something the world can't ignore. You don't need to convince anyone of who you are. Your transformation will do that. You don't need to argue with doubters. Your results will answer for you, loudly, clearly, without a single word spoken. This is the moment you've been building toward, and it doesn't start with an announcement. It begins with alignment, when your habits align with your vision, when your values match your actions, when your words become unnecessary because your lifestyle does the talking. That's real power, not hype, not attention, alignment. The moment you stop chasing recognition and start owning your path, something shifts. The world stops seeing you as just another voice. They begin to feel your presence. Because presence is louder than words, and real success is impossible to ignore. You will feel the shift within before the world notices it, the peace in your decisions, the pride in your discipline, the power in your silence, and one day you'll look around and realize you didn't have to shout, you didn't have to beg, you didn't have to prove. You simply became, and now they can't look away. What you're building isn't temporary. It's not built on hype. It's not sustained by attention. It's rooted in purpose. And anything rooted in purpose can survive storms. It doesn't crumble under pressure. It adapts. It grows. It evolves. While others are shaken by opinions, by trends, by setbacks, you remain, because you didn't build for the crowd. You built for the calling, and here's the truth that most people ignore. The world listens differently when you've earned your voice. When your success is backed by sacrifice, people pay attention, not because you asked, but because they can feel it. They feel the weight behind your words, the integrity behind your moves, the authenticity behind your growth. And that kind of power doesn't come from being loud. It comes from being true. You never needed to prove you were worthy. You needed to become someone who never questioned it. You never needed validation. You needed conviction, and that conviction is what carried you through the silence, through the doubt, through the lonely nights and quiet mornings. It carved strength into your bones. It shaped resilience into your mindset. And now it shines without you saying a word. That's what success should look like. Not a show, not a performance, but a quiet storm. Rising without permission, growing without approval, and arriving without warning. Because you trained for this, you sacrificed for this, you became this, and no one can take that away from you. So don't slow down, don't lose focus, don't let the noise around you pull you out of your lane. You didn't come this far to be seen. You came this far to be remembered, and the only way to leave something behind that lasts is to keep doing the work that no one sees, the kind of work that doesn't trend, the kind of work that doesn't beg for credit, the kind of work that changes everything. Your silence has been your superpower, and now your success is your voice. Let it echo through every room that once overlooked you. Let it shake every doubt that ever lived inside you. Let it stand taller than every critic who tried to break you, because now it's your time not to talk, not to explain, but to let your life speak for itself. And it will loudly, boldly, unapologetically. You didn't just move in silence. You mastered the art of becoming, and now the world doesn't need to hear you. They need to feel you, and now that you've arrived in your power, you must protect it. Because success is not the finish line. It's the proving ground. The silence that shaped you must now become the discipline that sustains you. The same mindset that built you in the dark must guide you in the light. It's easy to get comfortable when people start to notice. It's easy to fall into the trap of applause, of validation, of being seen. But remember, what made you powerful was never the praise, it was the process. You didn't get here by being loud. You got here by being relentless, by staying locked in while others drifted, by choosing the hard road without the need for recognition. And that same mindset must stay alive now more than ever. Because attention is fleeting, but discipline is permanent. If you want to rise higher, you must become even more focused, even more quiet, even more dangerous, not out of fear, but out of commitment. Because you didn't come this far to lose yourself in the noise you once ignored. Stay grounded in your purpose. Stay rooted in the habits that brought you here, the early mornings, the late nights, the uncomfortable choices. The moments when you showed up even when you didn't feel like it. Especially those moments. That's where your strength lies, not in the results, but in the resolve. Not in what others say about you, but in what you know about yourself. That knowing, that inner certainty, is what no one sees.